energy out, the frustrations out. Say what it is. This week's discussion, we will start with by talking about the death of Muammar Gaddafi. Now, hands up those of you who believe that the invasion of Libya or the bombing of Libya was just, that it should have taken place. Hands up those of you who support NATO's actions in the region. You. Okay? Anyone else? Please, someone give him support.
I'll give him support.
You give him support. So you support NATO's action. You support NATO's actions. You kicked it off as head of the debate society. My friend, why do you believe NATO's actions were right?
Well, if I think they didn't help the suppressed, then Libya wouldn't be free at the moment.
If they didn't help the oppressed, then Libya wouldn't be free. And your opinion, sir? The same. So you believe Libya was enslaved? It was enslaved, was it?
It was.
Enslaved by whom?
Muammar al-Gaddafi.
By Muammar Gaddafi. Are you Libyan?
No. Close to the Libyan region.
Close. So you say that the people weren't free. If they weren't free, what to you constitutes freedom? What defines this freedom that the Libyan people didn't have?
Free speech. Yeah, free speech.
Free speech. Free speech. Do you have free speech in Saudi Arabia? Of course not. Do we have it in Bahrain?
Yes.
In Yemen? In Qatar? In Kuwait? Can you tell me then?
In Syria.
In Syria? Tell me a country where you assume you have free speech. Here in England?
Yes.
Yes, she says. She says yes. She has.
To some extent.
You have the right to free speech in the UK. She says. So let's park it here. I've been arrested 4 times
Here.
in this park, a bastion of free speech and democracy. Right here, I've been arrested 4 times and gone to court for using the word fuck. Hold on, madam. Hold on, madam. For using the word fuck. I have been arrested in this park 4 times. Now tell me, if I have the right to free speech, why the fuck can't I use the word fuck? The word fuck is one of the most beautiful and descriptive words in the English dictionary. It's English. The word fuck isn't Jamaican. We use words like bumbleclot or the pussyclot or the rasclot. That's our swear word. The word fuck is English. Yet I was arrested 4 times. The word fuck is one of the most beautiful words in the English dictionary. It's so expressive. If I say this, that, or you haven't got a clue what I'm saying. But when I say fuck this, fuck that, and fuck you, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's one of the most descriptive words. Yet I was charged with using language in the earshot of someone who might take offense. So let's be careful when you say there's free speech here. In fact, over the summer in the United Kingdom, we had a series of riots that took place across the country. 2 individuals posted on Facebook, in a cyber metaphysical reality, not even in this real world, on Facebook, an individual posted, "Let's gather in the town center for a ruckus." They were sentenced to 4 years in jail. No one gathered at the spot where they said. They took their message down straight away. Yet they are in jail for 4 years. It was upheld. The conviction of those individuals was upheld in a court of appeal. So they have to serve their 4 years for posting a message on Facebook. Because you in the West and you Muslim visitors who are enjoying the relaxed state of affairs and assume that everything's all right, You don't really look at the society. Really, there's nowhere on earth where there's free speech. Every state is oppressive. There is just various gradiences as to what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. When you go to Libya and you talk about freedom, remember, where is Libya? Libya is in Africa. It is an African country. They say the Arab Spring. Where did the Arab Spring allegedly start? In Tunisia. Which part of the Arab Peninsula is Tunisia? Tunisia is in Africa, motherfuckers. It then went to Egypt. Where the fuck is Egypt? Egypt is in Africa, motherfuckers. It was an African spring.
But they are Arab.
They are Arab? Yes, but they are African first. Arab is incidental.
Okay, so what about the
It's like me saying, where are you from? Oh, I'm white. No, you are English first. Or you are an American first.
We're human first.
We are human first. Thank you, madam. You are human first. We are all human first, and it doesn't matter. However, being an African country, as Libya is, they went to the African Union and said to the African Union, condemn this, we want to go into Libya. The African Union said, no, we don't agree. So where did they go? They went to the Arab League. And those treacherous devils in the Arab League said, yes, we support you. And then they said, oh, it's not us who wants to go to Libya, it's the Arabs who want us to go to Libya. It's the Arab League. The Arabs support us. My friends, look at Libya. Libya in 1950 was one of the poorest countries on earth. By the year 2000, Libya had the highest standard of living in Africa. This is what we're talking. Oh, you said no. Okay. She said no, it's not true. Africa did not have the highest standard of living in Africa. And let me go even further than that. Libya, up until last year, until the invasion, had the fastest growing GDP in Africa at 10.6%. My friend, you have prematurely ejaculated. Take your time, you've come in prematurely.
Free Libya.
Free Libya, sir. Why don't you get yourself involved in the argument first before you prematurely ejaculate? Madame, and now you have support. I think he likes you. I'm setting you up, brother. I'm setting you up, brother. I'm setting you up. Shut the fuck up and let me set you up. Just chill. My friend, I asked you a question. I said this. I said Libya had the highest standard of living in Africa. You said no. Then tell me which country did.
Which country?
Yes, I said
Gulf.
the Gulf. Where's the Gulf?
The Gulf, one of the most
Which country is the Gulf in Africa? Africa is 54 states. What are you talking about? I said to you, Libya had the highest standard of living in Africa. I challenge you.
It doesn't matter if it is controlled and governed by one family.
Madame, we haven't got to Gaddafi yet. We're just talking about Libya. But can you see a hatred for Gaddafi? A hatred for Gaddafi short circuits all rationale and intelligence.
It's fear.
We are not talking about Gaddafi yet. I said, my statement was this. My statement was this. In 1950, Libya was the poorest country on earth. By then, Gaddafi hadn't even come to power. Gaddafi seized power in '69.
Do you know why?
Hold on, sir. Hold on. I said this. I said Libya was the poorest country in Africa in 1950. I then said by the year 2000, Libya had the highest standard of living. And she would rather shout down the facts about Libya than face the reality because of a hatred of Gaddafi. We haven't got there yet. Libya, in Libya, under that regime, that dictatorship, that despotic tyrant, as you might want to call him.
Libya was for
In Libya,
now Libya for
in Libya,
Libyan.
in Libya, they had free healthcare.
Libya for Libyan today.
Oh, madam, are you off? Why are you leaving yet?
Gaddafi.
Why are you leaving now? Are you
I
off?
don't believe in what
Are you off? Madam,
So do you approve
you're there for
of
your
Gaddafi?
education.
Do you approve of what Gaddafi has done in Libya?
Do I approve of what? Can you see these people's irrational fears? They're just coming to, do you approve? We haven't got there, madam. Madam, madam. It's 1:30. I am here until 6 o'clock when The Simpsons comes on and I have to go home. So we have 4.5 hours to thrash this out. Madam, we are not getting into the sexual intercourse yet. We are still on foreplay. Please enjoy the foreplay. Look at it for what it's worth. I'm saying to you, let's not be over irrational. Let's not be emotional. Let's just deal with the facts first. Then we come to Gaddafi. Libya had free healthcare, free education, free social housing.
It was a rich country, they got oil.
A rich country, they've got oil.
Yeah.
They have oil in Nigeria. They discovered oil in Nigeria since 1960s. Yet the majority of Nigerians are still living in poverty.
At the same time, can you tell
Hold
how
on.
many billion can
Hold on. Imagine. Now they want to excuse it. Now they want to excuse it as it being a wealthy country. Iran. We had in 1951. Because now all of a sudden you in the West are talking about democracy in the Middle East. A possible democracy. In Tunisia, they're talking about the first democratic elections. In Libya, they're saying they're going to have elections within 2 years. Within 8 months, they'll form a national transitional interim council that will govern until the elections come up. And all of a sudden, you in the West are so excited about democracy. So they're excited about democracy for the Arabs and the Muslims. That's your agenda. I say this to you. In 1951, in the Arab world, they elected the first Arab democracy under Mohammed Mossadegh.
Is it not Arab?
Or Muslim. Iran. You're right.
Okay.
The Muslim democracy, you're right.
Okay.
The Muslim democracy
To keep it happy.
in Iran under Mohammed Mossadegh, 1951. Democratically elected, overthrown in 1953. Why? Because Mohammed Mossadegh said the oil wealth of Iran must benefit the Iranian people. You didn't like that. And if you want to talk to me about democracy and dictatorships, look at Africa's liberation. Where are you Africans? Put your hands up, whether you are black North African or Arab or Maghreb state. Where are you Africans? Look at Africa and Africa's independence, the golden age of Africa's fruition. We had Kwame Nkrumah, the first democratically elected leader of Ghana, the first independent state in Africa, democratically elected by his people, for his people. But because he was a socialist, he was overthrown. By whom? His own people? No, by the CIA. The CIA overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. Patrice Lumumba of the Congo, a man who said, you can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. Patrice Lumumba, democratically elected by the people, for the people, overthrown. By whom? The CIA. We go to the Caribbean, Arbenz, Trujillo. You go to Chile, Salvador Allende, democratically elected, overthrown, 1973. By whom? The CIA.
America!
So don't you motherfuckers all of a sudden come and tell me about democracy. Because every democracy that we have had that represents the people, you have been the motherfuckers who overthrow it. In Palestine, you say you want elections. The Palestinians had elections. In 2006, Hamas won those elections. You refused to acknowledge those elections. In Algeria, 1992, 91, you said you want elections for the Arabs. They had elections. The Islamists won the elections, you overturned those results. So don't you motherfuckers all of a sudden stand up and tell me about democracy with your damn little puppets.
You will leave Gaddafi and Saddam running the...
My friend, we haven't reached Gaddafi or Saddam yet. We're still on the foreplay.
Don't test them. When he's an assignment,
You introduced him. You introduced him. He says no. And now you want to reintroduce him. Sir, in a compound, I assume trying to escape from search. Now his convoy, so he's in a convoy. Gaddafi is in a convoy trying to escape from search. That convoy is just as we're led to believe, targeted by NATO by coincidence. But that makes me challenge one thing. Let me say this, sir. NATO said that they bombed Gaddafi's convoy because they saw vehicles fleeing. Now, the UN resolution 1973 is to protect civilians. Tell me this, what threat was the convoy to civilians, bearing in mind that the convoy was already in search? There was no threat. NATO have sided with the rebels, and the rebels would have never got this far. The rebels would have never overthrown the government without NATO's bombing and support. That is just an established fact. So NATO, first of all, bombed the convoy. Gaddafi survives. In the killings of that convoy, over 40 people were killed. Gaddafi was fortunate to survive. He ran into a hole, hiding in a hole. Hold on. Hiding in a hole. Hold on. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Gaddafi, we are led to believe. Gaddafi, we are led to believe, is dragged from that hole where he is set upon. He is set upon by a mob. We see Gaddafi wounded. We see Gaddafi beaten. We see Gaddafi walking to the vehicle. Hold on.
And begging for his
life. He said, what have I done to you? Hold on. He is speaking. He is speaking. Gaddafi is arguing with his captors. He is going down fighting. Gaddafi, imagine, if that was any other Arab leader, they would have fled the country and be living in exile in France, in a palace. In a palace. Remember when Saddam Hussein, invaded Kuwait, the Kuwaiti royal family jumped on the first plane and fled to Europe. Fled. They were cowards. Cowards. Gaddafi said, I'm going to die in my country. Gaddafi's a military man. I give Gaddafi, my friend, I tell you this, Gaddafi will be remembered like Nasser. Gaddafi will be remembered like Omar Mokhtar. Gaddafi, you don't think so in either here nor there, my friend. It doesn't matter to you. I guarantee you that Gaddafi will be reborn. So was Che Guevara. But Che Guevara became an international icon.
Yeah, man, Allah yarham al-Gaddafi.
I'm not being partisan, I'm just giving you facts. My friend, hold on. Let me get back to the analysis. Let me get back to the analysis. Let me get back to the analysis, sir. Let me get back to the analysis. So, Gaddafi's captured alive, wounded. He's walking to the truck. Now, if you look at the video of the truck, you see, when you watch the video, a black man handcuffed in the back of the truck. No one questions who is that black man, but he's handcuffed in the back of the truck. Later on, we see Gaddafi stooped down in the truck. Then the next minute, we see a bullet wound to the temple, and we see Gaddafi dead. A shot to the temple. Now, any of you who knows about combat, war, and injuries and wounds, you can clearly see, and I know you are familiar, motherfucker, you. My friend, you saw that entry wound. That entry wound was made by small arms. If that was an AK-47 round, it would have taken off his fucking head. It was a fucking small arms that was delivered at close range. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. And then later on, they were given disputed narratives. We're told he was captured alive, he was captured dead. Then the NTC come out and say, oh, he died of his injuries. Do you know on Facebook, I posted, when they first report was that Gaddafi's been captured, I wrote on my Facebook post that there's no way they will bring him to justice, that he has to be killed. He has to be killed because he has too much information on the West about rendition, about the secret deals they had, and for the NTC, he's the greatest danger alive because it means the people who are fighting for him will still believe that one day they can liberate him. So they had to kill him, whether it be the NTC, the rebels, or the West. So Gaddafi could not survive. Any analyst would be able to tell you in advance. And then later on we are told that Gaddafi died of his injuries. So I ask this logical question. How the hell did a man walk 10 paces and say, leave me alone, and tell them, what have I done to you, when he was shot in the fucking head and his brain was missing? How? How do you get a bullet wound to the fucking brain and talk? How do you get a bullet wound to the brain and walk? Yet, the Western media are now helping and aiding the rebels to sell the lie. I saw a BBC News report where they said they spoke to the commander who captured Gaddafi alive. And he said, oh, Gaddafi died in crossfire. So they captured him, and then there was another shootout. As though someone's gonna run up with a fucking 9mm and fucking blaze them out. It's nonsense. These are the lies. It shows just how barbaric the new regime and the new government are. It's a farce. It's immoral. There's going to be no change in Libya. And if you look at the NTC, when you look at people like Mustafa Jalil, look at these motherfuckers. They were former henchmen for Gaddafi. They were the henchmen of Gaddafi. These were the Musa Kusa. These were the ones who carried out the interrogations, the brutality.